All right, I'm back again, this time with some charts. We're going to talk about Alex Jones' wind-up theory. Now, he talks about this a lot on the show, but I don't think he's ever done like a visualization or anything of it. So I think this might clear things up with especially some of the current events and things that have happened. Whoops. Okay. So, first of all, when you start out with the wind up is basically a socially isolated person, or maybe they might not be completely socially isolated, but they feel like they're outside the main like group or their friend group or anything like that, like somebody that feels or is actually socially isolated, right? Then you add in popular media with all these crazy philosophical ideas that people are taking in a passive way and then regurgitating them without even knowing that they're doing it, right? So that's one aspect of it. Then the second aspect of it is kind of like a twofold thing, where I think in earlier times you would have these people then join one of these crazy groups, like say, like for instance, like the Satanists or some type of underground Gnostic cult or a witch coven or something like that, because like they have those Freemasonic esoteric type of views, right? That coincide with the weird esoteric views that are being pushed through the media, right? But I think nowadays, more likely than not, the person is going to be in social media groups like Reddit, Discord, something like that, inside these same type of weird groups that have, these like esoteric type of philosophies that are the same things that are mirrored on popular media, right? So then the last kind of element is this mystery element. And this is the problem, right? This is where there's no way to know where this mystery element thing is coming from. Is it coming from the government? Is it coming from a higher level, like satanic or globalist type organization? Is it coming from actual people that are actually possessed by demons or the devil, right? We don't know, right? We don't know who this is, right? But it's possible that this person, and we've seen evidence of this in the past from either government or these type of shadowy roundtable groups, private organizations, secret societies, the Freemasons, the whole lot, right? Infiltrate these feeder groups either in real life or now online, and then they steer certain people in the groups and psychologically profile certain people in the groups to prime them for these type of crazy actions. And the other people in the group, right, are a cover, because it's just like the Freemasons, right? How the Blue Lodge is most of the people, but they don't really know what's going on in the 33rd degree, right? So they're just in the group running cover because they're just genuinely in the group. They're just interested in being like an edgy Satanist or some type of like witch coven or whatever, right? Or in these now the online groups with all that other stuff, with the other next level stuff, they're in those groups. We don't know who's in those groups because they're open to the public. This is the thing, right? And people say, oh, well, they're not connected to the government, but you don't know. Oh, they're not connected to secret societies. You don't know, because if a group's open to the public, anybody can go in the group, including Freemasons, including weirdos like with weird like high level like multi like money access, and they can do whatever they want, right? And they can go into these groups. We'll just call them clandestine agents, right? That's a good way to put it. A clandestine agent can enter one of these groups with people that are already radicalized from this weird philosophy in mainstream media. And then they go into these groups that are cover with a bunch of like basically know nothings that just want to be edgy, right? In these groups too. And then all it takes is one or two clandestine agents that has access to, you know, money or arms or all the above stuff that you need to carry out this stuff, and then they somehow get it to this person, right? And nobody knows who the clandestine agent is, because they're just blending into the group with the like Satanists or the witches or whatever they're doing online. I don't even know what they're doing online anymore. You know what I'm saying? And then the craziest part comes when if you say that, oh, it could be certain groups, right? Like high-powered oligarchs that are putting this stuff into the media in the first place, right? And then the high-powered oligarchs are also employing clandestine agents into, you know, you see what I'm saying? And then they're employing the clandestine agents into the group as well as into the media to manipulate the media, like Operation Mockingbird and things like that. Like these are real things that happen, right? I'm not saying it's the government, but I'm saying clandestine agents could be rogue agents of the government, like the thing in the original World Trade Center attack, or Barry Seals, or it could be secret societies, roundtable type organizations like the Stay Behind Networks, Gladio type stuff, right? Could be anybody. Could be a corporate, just a straight up a corporate spy. A lot of people might not know that, but private corporations actually have their own espionage units, and they actually have like highly trained spies. Could be Blackwater, could be any of these clandestine agencies, right? Can send in agents into any of these public groups, either in real life or online, with people that are already pre-primed from mainstream media, right? And then, okay, you say, well, maybe it's just a clandestine agent. But then when you're like, if they have that much power that they're doing the media and they're doing this, you're like, this is kind of nuts, right? That this could even be possible, but it is possible in our society, right? It's not impossible, right? We've seen examples of this in real life, like I've just been listing, right? Where they have the feeder group. Oh my gosh. Where they have the feeder group, you know, and most of the people are low-level know-nothings that just want to be edgy. And they're also into mainstream media, right? And now it's the online thing, right? And then you have your clandestine agent that's completely clandestine. You don't know if they're getting paid by the government or not. You don't know if they're getting paid by big business. You don't know if they're getting paid by a corporation or not, because they're a rogue agent. That's a trained sleeper agent, if you want to call it that, or a trained undercover agent, a trained clandestine agent that's going to be untraceable and knows how to play an undercover role in a group in real life or online, and knows that the people are pre-primed with the mainstream media too. And then all it takes is them to get some cash, some weapons, and to this person. You see what I'm saying? So that's basically Alex Jones' wind-up theory. It's just a theory. It's a hypothetical. Please don't come after me, right? And then to get a better example of it, there's this show called Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. Now, there's a lot of episodes. You can watch the movie too, but this really goes into detail as to how the whole like wind-up thing works, where they have people that are, you know, hooked into the internet, and then they get a virus by this guy called the Puppet Master, or there's also the Laughing Man, and then they get infected with the virus from interacting with the internet, and then they go and do those types of things, right? The taking people out things. And they're completely like brainwashed basically and don't know what they're doing. They caught a virus from the internet basically, right? And then they go carry out these actions, right? So this show pretty much backs up Alex Jones's whole wind-up theory thing. So that's it. Hope that makes sense. Thanks for checking out the video, and I'll be back later, hopefully. Peace.